three words, we take shelter below the feet Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yes or no?
Yeah, if it's such a rush, then you can cut. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Shishikora Nitai ki jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo More
Tama pinake toyalu jagat samsare. Patita pavana hetu tava avatara. Patita pavana hetu tava avatara. Mosamapatita prabhu napaibe. Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripa Palokana Kara Ami Bharatu Advaita Kosai Daya Gorosita Pati Advaita Kosai Tava Kripa Pale Pai Chaitanya Nitai Tava Kripa Pale Aha Svarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunata Svarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunata Bhatta Juga Sri Chivaha Prabhu Lokanata Bhatta Juga Sri Chivaha Prabhu Lokanata Toya Koro Sri Acharya Prabhu Srinivasa Toya Koro Sri Acharya Prabhu Srinivasa Ramachandra Sangamage Narottama Dasa Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Toya Koro More Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Toya Koro More Toma Pinake Dayalu Jagata Samsare Toma Pinake Dayalu Jagata Samsare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Kora Hari Bol. Nitai Kora Premanande. Hari Bol. Thank you. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda,
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda,
Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda,
Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda,
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda,
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda,
Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda,
Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda,
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda,
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda,
Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda,
Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta
Welcome to the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita class. It feels a little unusual sitting again on this seat because about 4 months ago I decided to not give any classes. I felt my life is a mess, and until I find which direction I should go in life, I will not give another class. I guess I got some hints which direction I should go. So, yes, today my plan was we're going to read the verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, verses 46 till 51 of chapter 22, the process of devotional service. But my main focus, I would really like to focus on Madhvacharya, his life and his teachings today, because it's his disappearance day. Yes, very essential personality for all of us. Okay, I will read these verses. O my Lord, this is verse 46, Madhya Lila 22, 46. O my Lord, O infallible Supreme Person, when a person wandering throughout the universe becomes eligible for liberation from material existence, he gets an opportunity to associate with devotees. When he associates with devotees, his attraction for you is awakened, and you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the highest goal of the topmost devotees, and the Lord of the universe. And purport: this is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:51-53. End of purport. Text 47. Krishna is situated in everyone's heart as the Chaitya Guru, the spiritual master within. When he is kind to some fortunate conditioned soul, he personally gives him lessons so he can progress in devotional service, instructing the person as the supersoul within and the spiritual master without. Text 48. O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with a prolonged lifetime of Brahma. For you appear in two features, externally as the Acharya and internally as the Supersoul, to deliver the embodied living beings by directing him how to come to you. Short purport. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:29-6. It was spoken by Uddhava after he had been instructed in yoga by Sri Krishna. Okay, a few more verses. 49. By associating with a devotee, one awakens his faith in devotional service to Krishna. Because of devotional service, one's dormant love for Krishna awakens, and thus one's material conditioned existence comes to an end. Text 50. Somehow or other, if one is attracted to talks about me and has faith in the instructions I have set forth in the Bhagavad Gita, and if one is neither falsely detached from material things nor very much attracted to material existence, his dormant love for me will be awakened by devotional service. Purport. This verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:28 was spoken by Krishna at the time of his departure from this material world. It was spoken to Uddhava. And now today's verse, which is on the board. You can repeat. Mahat kripa vina guna karme bhaktinaya. Krishna bhakti dure raho samsara na hekshaya. Mahat kripa vina kone karme bhaktinaya. Krishna bhakti dure raho samsara na hekshaya. Mahat kripa vina kone karme bhaktinaya. Krishna Bhakti Dure Rahu Samsara Nahekshaya.
Krishna Bhakti Dure Rahu Samsara Nakshaya.
Krishna Bhakti Dure Rahu Samsara Nakshaya.
Vaishnavis.
Mahatripa Vina Kona Karma Bhaktinaya.
Mahatripa Vina Kona Karme Bhaktinaya.
Krishna Bhakti Dure Rahu Samsara Nakshaya.
Krishna Bhakti Dure Rahu Samsara Nakshaya.
Mahat Kripa Vina Kona Karme Bhaktinaya.
Mahatripa Vina Kona Karme Bhaktinaya.
Krishna Bhakti Dure Rahu Samsara Nahishaya.
Krishna Bhakti Dure Rahu Samsara Nakshaya.
Thank you. I proceed with the translation and purport. Translation. Unless one is favored by a pure devotee, one cannot attain the platform of devotional service. To say nothing of Krishna Bhakti, one cannot even be relieved from the bondage of material existence. Purport. Pious activities bring about material opulence, but one cannot acquire devotional service by any amount of material pious activity, not by giving charity, opening big hospitals and schools, or working philanthropically. Devotional service can be attained only by the mercy of a pure devotee. Without a pure devotee's mercy, one cannot even escape the bondage of material existence. The word Mahat in this verse means a pure devotee. As Lord Krishna confirms in the Bhagavad Gita 9.13, Mahatmanas tumam partha taivim prakritim asrita pachantyananya manaso kyatva putarim avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. One has to associate with such a Mahatma, who has accepted Krishna as the supreme source of the entire creation. Without being a Mahatma, one cannot understand Krishna's absolute position. A Mahatma is rare and transcendental, and he is a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Foolish people consider Krishna a human being, and they consider Lord Krishna's pure devotee an ordinary human being also. Whatever one may be, one must take shelter at the lotus feet of a devotee Mahatma and treat him as the most exalted well-wisher of all human society. We should take shelter of such a Mahatma and ask for his causeless mercy. Only by his benediction can one be relieved from attachment to the materialistic way of life. When one is thus relieved, he can engage in the Lord's transcendental loving service through the mercy of the Mahatma. End of purport. The disappearance day of Sripad Madhvacharya. He's yes, as I mentioned, very important personality. He's our spiritual forefather, one of the founder acharyas of our sampradaya, because we belong to Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya sampradaya. So And Madhvacharya, he is an incarnation of Vayu, first of all, right? Vayu is a wind demigod. But before Madhvacharya, there are two other famous incarnations of Vayu. Any guess? Jai Hanuman. Yes, in Ram Leela was Hanuman. And in Krishna Leela? Yes. Correct. And Madhvacharya shares the same qualities, manifests the same qualities, which means incredible strength. So Madhvacharya, actually he appeared in year 1238 in a family of a South Indian Brahmana whose name was Madhyadeha. He lived near the town of Udupi, about 8 miles from that town, in a small village called Pajakshetra. Yes, I hope I got it. Pajakshetra. And so he was a great devotee of the Lord, fully absorbed in devotional service. And him and his wife repeatedly tried, he had desire to have a son. And he prayed for a son who would be so powerful that he would restore the religious principles in this age of Kali. So they tried to conceive a child repeatedly, but without success. And he decided, okay, I have to perform some special yagya. And he decided, he started daily walking to Udupi. It's like 8 miles walk every day. Went to the famous temple of Anandeshwar Mandir, and started to perform, offer prayers and yagyas, sacrifices daily for years, with a desire to attain such a powerful son. And during one festival, big festival in Anandeshwar temple, the Pujari, actually the Murti, the deity of this temple, started to speak through Pujari. And the Pujari became all of a sudden divinely empowered and declared, very soon there will be a great personality born, the incarnation of Vayu, who will re-establish the principles of religion. And Madhyadeha, hearing this, immediately understood, oh, he must be speaking about me. And this must be a reciprocation of my Lord. And that's exactly what happened. Very soon, beautiful child was born. And he named his son Vasudeva. And when he was born, there was immediately visible 32 bodily symptoms of Mahabhagavata. Extraordinary personality. And from very childhood, this child was extraordinary. He started to exhibit all kind of supernatural deeds. For example, when one day his mother and father went out from home, and the maidservant was taking care of the child. The maidservant was a little inattentive, and there was a huge pile of gram dal. It's like very, very difficult to digest, like a food item. Huge pile, and this huge pile was meant to last for many weeks, for both for some cookings and for some cow feeding. But when the maidservant was inattentive, the little Vasudev just started to eat and finished off this pile in no time. And when the parents came back and then saw, where is it gone? When they heard what happened, they were really worried. They called for doctor, that my child gonna die. but there was no change, absolutely no change in behavior of Vasudeva after eating all this pile. Reminds Bhimasena, right? Yes. When Vasudeva was 5 years old, only 5 years old already, his father gave him Diksha. Yes, got initiation. And a Brahman read. And his mother was so much concerned for his welfare. But because Vasudeva so much loved his mother, whenever mother used to call him, instantly he was there. It doesn't matter from how much distance he came. He had this mystic ability, even many kilometers away. He just had so much, affection and love for his mother, just to please the mother, because mother wasn't worried about him. So Vasudeva, here he is. So reminds Hanuman, right? Lanka, no problem. And also around that age, in his in his village, there came one terrible demon, and that demon was from the times of Mahabharata, and this demon took the form of a snake, very deadly snake, and then started to attack little Vasudeva. And Vasudeva, just with his little toe pushed the head of the demon inside into the ground, and just crushed the skull, and the demon was dead. And so as Vasudeva was growing up, around the age 8, he went to Gurukul. He went to ashram of his so-called guru, whose name was Achyuta Preksha. Yeah, I think Achyuta Preksha in Udupi. So he basically, traditionally, Vedic society, the boys go to Gurukul. And in that ashram, he was learning under Achyuta Preksha. He manifested excellent intellectual powers, incredible memory. We talk about Madhavacharya, as you could guess. Right. Incredible memory. Everyone was impressed just with the abilities of this child. And while he was there in his ashram, great determination developed within him. I'm going to renounce this world. I'm going to take sannyas. And at the age of 12 already, he really wanted to take sannyas. He was serious. But there was a problem. His parents exactly didn't like the idea. His father, Madhyadeha, was very worried, came to the Gurukul and said, "Please, son, come back home." No. So he didn't allow them to take sannyas. But he was determined. I'm going to renounce. First of all, his father tried in every possible way to prevent this to happen. First, he was trying to tell that, so for everything I have given to you, this is your gratitude. Yes, this is what you offer me. In fact, you said yes, and this didn't work. And then they were debating, arguments back and forth. It was useless to debate with Vasudeva, who was the most learned person in the region. So they didn't work. At the end, he was just so desperate. He just fell at the feet of his son, begging, "Please, please don't." And then Vasudeva was thinking, "Wow, this is very auspicious sign. only time when a father puts his head on the feet of a son is when son is sannyas. So, and then the father just frustrated and gave back home to his wife, but they didn't give up on him. They still were trying to prevent him from taking sannyas. So, and then, meanwhile, Vasudev went with his guru Achyuta Preksha to a pilgrimage, and then at one point his father again came with the same plan to change his mind. And he said, "You cannot take, because you're my only son." And then Madhvacharya in the future said that, "Well, okay, if I'm your only son, then yes, you're right, I cannot take sannyas. But what if you will have another son? Will you then give me permission to take sannyas?" Yes, then you can take. And mystically, soon there was another son born. And then Vasudeva asked again his parents, "Now can I take sannyas?" And they still, no, you still cannot take. And that was too much for him. And then he said, "Okay, I give you two options. Either you will never see me ever again, and I leave, or you allow me to take sannyas, and you will see me regularly as a sannyasi." Ultimatum. And so they agreed, "Okay, you take sannyas." So, yes, at the age of 12, there was a huge ceremony in a temple of Anandeshwar, this sannyas ceremony, where he was handed tanda. And he got the name, if we get this right, Purna Pragyatirtha, right? Purna Pragyatirtha, yes. And very soon his guru was so impressed by his disciple and wanted to make him his next acharya, his follower. And then he gave another name, another title, Ananda Tirtha. Purna Pragyatirtha, and became Ananda Tirtha. So many names. After that, he went to travel South India, where his main favorite activity was defeating Mayavadis, Shankarites, the followers of Shankaracharya. And yes, he met the greatest scholars, and he was so powerful, he just totally smashed them easily. And all these Shankarites were very worried. What are we going to do? They were in panic. And also he visited Sri Rangam temple, the place of Ramanujacharya. And there, although he had utmost respect to Ramanujacharya, he worshipped his lotus feet, but he wasn't fully satisfied how he dealt with Mayavadis. He thought Ramanujacharya, he didn't smash Mayavadis sufficiently. He was too lenient with them. And then, so he felt dissatisfied. And then he thought, I have to write books in order to fix this mistake. So after South India, he came back to Udupi, to his home place. And shortly after that, he decided to depart to north of India, to Himalayas, in order to meet his, you can say, real guru, the guru of his heart, because Achyuta Preksha, he didn't consider him actually his guru. It was just formality. So he went, set out to meet Srila Vyasadeva. Yes, in Padarika Ashram. So by that time he had many followers. His most closest follower was Satyatirtha. Satyatirtha always accompanied his guru, and fully surrendered disciple, always ready to serve with anything. But some group of disciples accompanied him they went to the Himalayas, and then they arrived finally to Badarika ashram. But at that time Vedavyas wasn't there. He was in much higher regions which are inaccessible for ordinary human being. Therefore Madhvacharya told to all his followers, okay, you wait me here. And he himself was ready to go. But Satyatirtha couldn't accept this idea. He's going alone. He said, no, Guru Maharaj, I must come. You need help. You need some servant. He said, no, you will not survive. No, I have to come. So, okay, they both went. And Madhvacharya was very fast, going through the snow and ice, and whereas Satyatirtha, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Shishigora Nitai ki jai. Yes, Satyatirtha was way behind, frozen in the snow, almost about to leave body. and then Madhvacharya turned around, looked at him, and just did with his hand like and and all of a sudden Satyatirtha was through airways transported back to his caste brothers in Badarika ashram. Because Madhvacharya is Vayudev. And he himself continued to meet Vyasadeva. And finally he arrived at the place. And there, he fully surrendered to the lotus feet of Vedavyas. Worshipped him. Vyasadeva was very happy to see him. And there he spent some time studying under Vyasadeva. Got all the blessings, was blessed by deep realizations of Shastra. And he received blessings from Vyasadeva to write commentaries on different Vedic literatures. And when he was returning from Himalayas, a lot of pastimes happened on the way when they traveled with his disciples. For example, he wanted to take his followers to Kurukshetra, and when they were in Kurukshetra, Madhvacharya, who knew all the little secrets what that happened in Mahabharata, on the Kurukshetra battle, he took them to a very remote place and started to dig in the ground. and at one point he pulled out big, huge gada, club. And he told his followers, that was the club of Bhimasena. With this club he killed, millions of soldiers during the battle. And all his followers were like, wow, in bliss seeing this. But then they buried the club again, and it was never found again. Yes. So also they passed through the banks of Godavari river on their journey, and then there he met two extremely powerful scholars. Yeah, and they wanted to defeat Madhvacharya's Dvaita philosophy. So they had to debate. That was like a national sport those days, debate. But instead Madhvacharya totally demolished them philosophically, and started to preach about bhakti, devotional service, and his Dvaita philosophy. And they ended up taking shelter of him and asking for initiation. They became his disciples, and later on they became great acharyas in Madhva line. Padmanabh Tirtha and was one, another one, was Naraharitirtha, yes. Easy to remember, we have Padmanabha here. So. Yes. So he was defeating Shankarites left and right. And when he arrived back to Udupi, his so-called guru, Achyuta Preksha, heard what he has done, and he was very displeased with him, his disciple, because he was Shankarite himself. So, and he was very displeased. And then they had debate with Madhvacharya, with Achyuta Preksha. And of course, Madhvacharya easily defeated all his arguments, and as a result, Achyuta Preksha asked to become his disciple. Quite amazing. Guru became disciple. Yes, Madhvacharya didn't only went to Vyasadeva once. He had multiple trips to his real guru, and on the way, when he was on the way to go there a second time, he came across one area where was a very violent, cruel Muslim king, and then the soldiers of this king, they whoever they captured, arrested, the persons were forced to dig a lake that the king wanted to be built. And so they came across this group of Madhvacharya, and the soldiers told, "You must dig this lake." And Madhvacharya, I want to speak with your king. The soldiers were shocked hearing this. What? Are you crazy? He's so cruel. You're going to be killed immediately. But he so charmingly convinced these soldiers, and they ended up taking him to this Muslim king. And then when he met him, because of the effulgence of Madhvacharya, Madhvacharya, this Muslim ruler welcomed him respectfully. And then Madhvacharya started to preach to him about pure devotional service. and the king was so attracted, impressed. And at one point Madhvacharya told the king that, it is, as a ruler, it is your responsibility to show with your own example. How are we supposed to know how to dig this lake unless you show how to So he spoke so convincingly because he was expert in logic, and so so you should come and take the shovel and show us how to dig this lake. Otherwise, how do we know? So the king ended up, yes, he became convinced. Yeah, you're right. He came and started to dig the lake, and while he was digging the lake, Madhvacharya with his companions just continued journey. Okay. There are so many pastimes. Yes, but his main favorite pastime was defeating Pandits, Mayavadis. And there was another great Mayavadi scholar who was debating with Madhvacharya, and again he miserably lost his debate. And so again all the Shankarites became very afraid of Madhvacharya. But Madhvacharya used to have a big library. He traveled with library so that whatever he said, he could find reference from those scriptures to back up what he's saying. So he had library like no one else. And so these Mayavadis, Shankarites, they plotted against him, and they stole all his library. But despite this, just from his memory, he was able to keep defeating them. But still, he had desire to get back his books. So he found out that there is a king whose guru nearby, whose guru is one of the Shankarite acharyas. And then he went to the king, and the the main pandit was his minister. What was his name? I forgot the name. So anyway, they had a debate, and that debate lasted for weeks. Very long debate. But ultimately Madhvacharya was victorious. And then, not just victorious, but the minister begged for initiation, totally surrendered his life. And then the king himself ended up also surrendering to Madhvacharya, became his disciple. But the son of that minister was named Narayanacharya, and he compiled the book about life of Madhvacharya, authorized book. And in 7th chapter of Madhya Lila, Srila Prabhupada actually gives nice summary of Madhvacharya, and there he mentions that if you want to know more, then you should read Narayanacharya's Madhva Vijaya. Madhva Vijaya is the name of this biography that Narayanacharya compiled. So, yes. Since Madhvacharya was incredibly strong, and then one wrestler, famous master champion wrestler, challenged him for a wrestling match. But then Madhvacharya very humbly told him, I have one challenge for you. You win if I put my toe on a ground. You win if you're able to separate my toe from the earth. And the wrestler tried really hard with all his might. Was unable to separate his toe from earth. Also, the Udupi is near ocean, and then once Madhvacharya went to the beach of the ocean, and there was a boat that came from Dwaraka. And but the boat was in a very dangerous condition because of storm and got stuck. And Madhvacharya indicated to the captain, somehow or other, he communicated what to do in order to save the boat. And by his mystic powers, the boat was saved. And the captain came to him and told him, please take anything you like in this boat. There was a lot of valuables, a lot of riches were carried in that boat. Take anything you want. Madhvacharya, I don't need anything. But since you're coming from Dwaraka, perhaps you have some Kopi Chandan. Because Kopi Chandan comes from Dwaraka. From Gujarat area, Dwaraka area. And yes, they had one big, huge chunk of Kopi Chandan on the boat to use it for balancing the boat. So they pulled it out, and at that moment the whole big chunk, it just cracked open, and from inside came beautiful deity of Krishna. And as soon as Madhvacharya saw the deity of Krishna, he started to just recite prayers. But then he ordered this deity to be taken to Udupi, and 30 men at one time tried to lift the deity. Nobody was able to even get it off the ground. And then Madhvacharya, just alone, easily started carrying the deity. And while he was carrying the deity on the way to Udupi, he just out of devotion started to compose songs spontaneously. And till today, the followers of Madhvacharya in the Udupi temple, they daily sing these songs. Because actually Madhvacharya was excellent songwriter, he composed dramas about Krishna's pastimes. It is described that he created cultural revolution in Udupi. Yeah, he not just wrote dramas; he directed dramas. He's really into dramas, which is nice. Yes. So and okay, let's. Time is short. Summarize Madhvacharya's philosophy quickly. So he called it himself Dvaita Dvaita. Complete duality, absolute duality. Yes, which means at those days Mayavadis were propagating just the opposite idea. Everything is one. But he just went to the other extreme. No, there's nothing one. Absolutely nothing is one. And yes, but his main philosophical points, actually there are 9 I say teachings of Madhvacharya. I would like to quickly mention them. His 9 teachings. First, Bhagavan Sri Krishna alone is the supreme absolute truth, one without second. Number 2, he is the object of knowledge in all the Vedas. 3, the universe is real, Satya. Not like Mayavadis say it's unreal. 4, the differences between Ishvara, God, Jiva, soul and matter are real. Again, differences, duality. 5, Jiva souls are by nature the servants of the Supreme Lord Hari. 6, there are 2 categories of Jivas, liberated and illusioned. 7, liberation or moksha means attaining the lotus feet of Bhagavan Krishna. In other words, entering an eternal relationship of service to the Supreme Lord, and opposed to merging. 8, pure devotional service to Krishna is the only way to attain this liberation. And 9, the truth may be known by pratyaksha, direct perception, anuman, inference or logic, shabda, spiritual sound or Vedic authority. So this 9. And now, with this very sharp logic, basically he was preaching pure devotional service packed up by very sharp logic, and this you can say paved the way of Lord Chaitanya. When Lord Chaitanya came, people were already accepting many of these points that he wanted to establish because of Madhvacharya's work. So all the previous acharyas, they just prepared the stage for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he very much appreciated especially 2 things from Madhvacharya's line. One was excellent deity worship. He took that. Although in Madhva line there was no knowledge of like conjugal affairs, conjugal relationship. That was unknown to them. That was brought in by Madhavendra Puri. Yes, who's also coming from Madhva line, but Madhavendra Puri introduced that Madhurya, sweetness. And the other aspect was, that Lord Chaitanya really liked about Madhvacharya, absolutely defeating Mayavad. So today's special day, on those special days like today, appearance and disappearance days of acharyas, the mercy gates are just